supposed, if we're not able to come in contact with them, we don't have that ability, and only God can know. Why do we have the ideology then?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we'll ever come in contact with aliens in this lifetime at all. Like, I don't honestly think we will. And I also think we come up with
But
that
why do we have
ideology.
the ideology?
I think it's
in our
because
head?
it's things get passed down from our forefathers, from our ancestors and stuff like that. Like, it's possible, like, from years ago that somebody saw something that they couldn't identify and they called it something and they overreacted and it got passed down, like storytelling. You feel me? Like, I think a lot of stuff could be story told. Because, like, where do you get superheroes from? Where do you get flying Superman and all this other stuff from? You admit? I feel like a lot of stuff is just stories that get passed down. And because it's a passed down tradition so long that it gets, that lie and that story becomes now it's the truth. You feel me? Like, when people sit there, and at one point when we were all created, people believed in God. You feel me? And then somehow passed down, it turned into not existent. Not like, I watched this one video, and it's kind of similar to what you're talking about, Drew. And it was talking about how people began worshiping like statues and how people started worshiping idols. And it went from basically people from worshiping God, and it was like a group of righteous people, like how the devil had tempted people, like, you guys should build statues for these guys. They were so righteous and stuff. And then they build statues, so you're always reminded that, like, these were good people. You know how nowadays, you feel me, you get a statue of yourself, or like a statue of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because he was nice, you feel me? So it went from that, creating statues of these righteous people, to then later generations, like, you should worship these statues now because these statues were good people. And then it went from that, and now it got passed down more generations. Now you're worshiping statues instead of the creator because those statues
So
were supposed to symbolize that.
So let me ask you then. You spoke about religion. Don't you think it's similar to religion because religion is faith? In a sense, we're believing in faith when it comes to aliens. None of us have ever actually like seen it or could prove it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it goes to faith. I feel like there are proofs in a sense where there are signs when you really read into it. Like, I feel like with religion, it's a touchy subject for some people, but I feel like when you start diving into it, I think it's best to go into like looking into different religions. You look into the main religions, and then from then you start reading the actual like scriptures from the religions. Like, that's what I did, and that's how I found Islam, and from reading the Quran and stuff. And then the Quran, when you read it, I always say it's like the book of life. Like, when you read it, it explains things. It explains the creation of humans. It explains the reason why we think. It explains the way the sun is, the way the earth is, how we as humans are in it. The earth was basically made for us to inhabit. You feel me? Why it's easy for us to operate on earth. It explains the animals. It explains so much that it makes sense. Like, okay, this has to be the truth. Like, a human couldn't have thought of this. Like.